Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Tonight we are going to be installing a aftermarket steering wheel in this 2007 Ram 2500. The kit that we have fits 89 to 09, so third gen, second gen, first gen. Again, this truck's in 07. Before we get into what we bought, I just want to clarify, if you are working on your airbags, be careful. It's called the SRS safety restraint system. It is a yellow harness or a yellow plug. We will show you that once we get it apart. The first thing you want to do is disconnect your battery and start a stopwatch for 30 minutes. You want the negative disconnected for 30 minutes to depower that system. So we're going to go ahead and get that done. And then I'm going to show you guys what we got in our case with the one battery and a million things stuffed on it. We'll just disconnect this old girl here. Mine usually doesn't fight me too much, but I'll get this pulled off and then we'll show you what we bought. And now our 30-minute countdown begins. But what we bought is the NRG kit. We got this from, where did this come from? I think it's Vivid Racing. All right. We have the 350 millimeter NRG wrapped in black leather. Nice steering wheel. Feels good in my hand. So I went with the bigger one this time. The 05 got the 310 millimeter. I just felt like when the power steering didn't work, it was very hard to turn the wheel. So I went with the larger diameter steering wheel. We have these button mounts, which looking at this, not sure if they're actually going to fit very well. So that sucks. We have the NRG quick disconnect coupler. I got it in gold just because that's what was in stock. And then we have our steering column adapter piece. So the way this works is this goes onto your factory steering shaft. This part right here is going to bolt on like so. This quick release adapter gets put on like that, and then your steering wheel bolts to that, kind of like that, and that is the stack up there. Obviously it'll look a lot better in the truck, but now you guys can kind of see we have part numbers for you guys, I believe. All right, so this is the Gen 2 quick release kit. This, as long as you get an NRG wheel and NRG hub adapter, you can really get any of them. This is the Gen 2. That part number is for the black and gold one. I went with that because it was in stock. Then we have the actual steering wheel itself, which is this part number right here. And then we have the adapter hub, which is really the only thing specific for the Dodge Ram. You guys can see there, I misspoke, 98 to 09, but short hub, SRK-163H. Again, I got all this stuff from Vivid Racing there. So now that we got all the parts out, you guys can kind of see all the different rings and such. They allow you to use a horn. I'll be honest, I've never really cared. I just put the horn on a switch. So we'll go ahead and get this disconnected once we've hit our 30 minutes. All right, so we waited our obligatory time here. So all we're gonna do is we're going to remove our Torx bits. There is one right there, one right there, one right there, and then there is one on the back side of the tilt lever. So I'm gonna get the truck moved forward a little bit, get those four out, and then basically you pry and separate the steering column here, which I have that bougie little gauge pod there, but you separate that. And then there's two 10 mil bolts. One is right here going this way, and then the other one's opposing. Look kind of like that. You split the halves, and then we will put the key in, so the steering column will become unlocked, and we'll turn it, and I'll show you guys the bolts. So this hole right here, 10 mil. This hole right up in here. There we go, 10 mil. So we'll take those out, and this will come off. And there's our two bolts. Then you simply pull this off. Be careful, guys. You don't want to stand in front of this. you ground yourself. I'm gonna put on some rubber gloves before I mess with that so we don't get any static electricity. Remember, these are pretty potent little bastards, so I will get this pulled off. But there's your 2 plugs there. There's that yellow connector and yellow chafing, or you get what I'm saying. And then you guys also look right here. Here is the bolt that we need to remove. And then we also have to unplug our steering wheel buttons. We have discharged our body of static on here. We got our rubber gloves on. We're gonna remove these plugs. Also disconnect our cruise control functions as well as our horn down here, and get this bolt removed. Slowly walking with the armed grenade. I might discharge this one for you guys. Give me some ideas on what you think, but we're gonna lay it like this off to the side. Now that we've removed any potential hazards, so to speak, what we're gonna do is move on to our buttons here. You guys can see this one harness is all basically goes from here up to here, from here to this plug right here, which I know is probably really hard for you guys to see since I decided to do this super late at night. But we got that unplugged. So now there is no buttons left in the steering wheel. Again, this is our horn button here. I'm not sure which pin this wire is, but there's only, let's see here, there's only 4 wires in here, so I can't imagine it's anything serious. The horn is literally just a ground for the thing, and it grounds itself out, I believe, to this steering wheel here. Let me double check for a second here, guys. When you push, yeah, so the horn is grounded right here. So in order for our horn to work, we'd have to intercept this one plug here and then ground it to the steering column itself. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the steering wheel pulled off. It's just this one, I believe. I think it's just a 13, it could be a 14, but we'll get that impacted off. And now with this removed, just pull it off. And that is your clock spring. It's always a good idea to keep this guy kind of centered here. All right, upon further inspection, pretty cool actually. It looks like you can, this new version, I think on my 05, I don't think I was able to do this, but we're actually able to feed the airbag wires through. Let me get it set up. So we're able to feed the airbag wires through, as well as ground that. So I think what I'm gonna do, guys, is figure out which one of these pins is actually the horn. And to do that, we'll have to reconnect the battery and basically just figure out with this pin here, which pin is the horn. And I think we might have a horn, because this is now locked into the clock spring down here. You guys can see this tab. So that means when we turn, essentially this should kill the turn signal as well. But that's the gist of it right there. Get that on there, and then we will apply some blue Loctite to this and thread that on. And you guys can kind of see now that this guy right here will set back down like so. Well, you get the gist. We could put our steering column back together. One thing I do want to look at is trying to remove this while we're in here. I find this extremely irritating, so I want to see if I can get it out. I think it's just this roll pin here, so I'm gonna try and knock that out and get our manual shifter out of the way. We got our roll pin knocked out for our shifter, so that is now gone. And then what we have determined is the far left prong here is the horn. So what we will do is hook this up. This will be the first time I've ever done it. Your airbag, now for you guys that are concerned, your dash will have an airbag light. The seatbelt will still work. The airbag light will just be on. You know, it is what it is. I think there's something we can do to shut that off, but for right now, I'm not really that worried about it. So from here, what I did last time was I torqued this bolt down using the Ugga Dugga method. about 2 UGGs on that one. And then now we'll put it back together, and I'll show you guys kind of how it goes together. But it's pretty simple from here. Really, the getting the old stuff out is the hard part here. So essentially I sacrificed the OEM steering wheel harness. I have one for the 05 anyway, so I wasn't that worried about it. We will turn the key on and make sure these two. All right, cool. Now from here we'll slide this all the way on, and now we will send our bolt home like so. Loctite already on there, guys. Oh my goodness, this light's something else. We're oh my goodness. There we go. Put this on here like so. And then, as I said, don't want that coming loose, whether you make 300 horsepower or 3,000 horsepower. Steering wheel needs to stay on. So from here, we will put our adapter for the quick release here. This is a good time to point out, your steering wheel should be clocked straight with the clock spring up and down, just like it was when we pulled it apart. We will hook up these 2 wires here to our 2 wires here. We will curl up the airbag wires and then put our bolts in. I do Loctite these as well because these don't usually come off very often. And oh yeah, off-road only. Okay, anyway, here we go. And here we got it all hooked up. Just kind of a test. Perfect. Now let's get it all bolted in. Also, this kit has evolved quite a bit since I last installed it. They now include airbag jump wires. Put these back in, problem goes away. Pretty cool. So we'll get those added to this cluster that is the steering column. Then we're gonna take our steering wheel, we put the hub on. I did not Loctite these bolts, and I did not do that for a reason, because the button bracket I bought did not fit. Grab it like this, pull the ring towards the steering wheel, locks in, All right, guys, moment of truth time. Boom. Airbag light off. Oh, guys, look at that. Would you just look at that? Just look at it. Let me give you a bird's eye view here. Okay, just look at this. Oof. All right, so as far as steering wheel comparison, got about the same room on my knee. Also, what I like about this steering wheel versus the old one, and let me wide zoom this, is my old one was so small, you had a hard time seeing the tachometer. So imagine like the steering wheel, actually this thickness here, imagine it here. That's actually how big it was. We got this, turn signals work, high beams obviously work. It does cancel the turn signal, but guys, and then boom, it's off. Boom, it's on. Ready to rock and roll. We'll get buttons here and here. One is going to be a limiter for like dirt drags and stuff, and then this one here will be another kit of nitrous. Of course, the brackets you buy, you utilize like a button like this, and they kind of mount. Oh boy, hold on here. They kind of mount like this. So imagine the button will kind of be like right here. So out of the way. And then the nice part is with this NRG hub and the way it fits on the steering column here, your cords can't get all bound up in here because there's this lip. So that's why I went back with what I've already done. The only change I made was I just went with a larger steering wheel, and I feel like this feels about right. Let's grab our old one here. So again, a little smaller than the factory wheel, quite a bit, but bigger than my small dinky wheel. And then as far as sticking out past the dash, this one's a little closer. So I guess if you find yourself just wanting to style this thing up a little bit, of course off-road only, this would be a little bit better for a bigger guy. If you can't get the steering column or anything like that, this does give you a little bit more room. But that's a wrap, guys. Airbag lights off, horn works, turn signals work with the clock spring. The only thing I lost is cruise control, which I do have a plan to intercept it down here and put like cruise control maybe on a button like right here. But all in all, pretty happy. Guys, that's gonna be a wrap on the video. Pretty simple install, but when I did it in the 05, I always got a lot of questions, and I see a lot of times on like other social media platforms, people wanna know. I gave you the part numbers. Again, Vivid Racing, they had it all here in probably 4 days. I think it was like 500 bucks for everything. But again, hub, you need the quick disconnect and the steering wheel, which looking at it, you could probably bolt that steering wheel straight to that hub, but the quick disconnect does make it a lot nicer. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at with it. Got the steering wheel on. We'll get the buttons added later. They're already wired, so that's really half the battle. Now we just need to get them mounted. Again, use Loctite. That's how you get the horn. They do include the airbag bypass kit. So all in all, I'm happy with it. It looks nice, and hopefully it does this well for All Truck Challenge. Like this one, drop a comment if we're gonna see you in Delaware, November 4th, 5th, and 6th. Subscribe if you are not already, guys, and as always, I'll catch you on the next one.